What is going on, everyone? My name is Kevin, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full comparison and showdown between the new affordable iPhone SE 2020 and the mid-range Samsung Galaxy A51. The SE, coming in at $399, is a bit pricier than the A51. We have already covered the Galaxy device across several videos on my channel, but the reason why this comparison is important is because this is the most value you will currently get from a phone from either Samsung or Apple. Now, these are going to be big hitters in terms of sales, and today you will find out which one is right for you. We'll get to doing all the comparisons you want to see between them, the camera comparison, speed test, overall features, and I'll talk about my day-to-day use of both phones. Let's start with a tour. The Galaxy A51, we're all familiar with by now, has this big quadruple rear lens configuration, and the front houses a premium looking hole punch cutout for the front lens. It's got a micro SD card slot, it's dual SIM, USB-C charging, and a headphone jack. SE, on the other hand, simply has one rear lens. It's the same design as the iPhone 6, 7, and 8 from the front. Gone is the headphone jack, but it does have IP67, water resistance rating, and wireless charging. Now, I'm curious to hear from you guys, which do you value more, a headphone jack on a phone or a water resistance rating? Another standout difference between the hardware at a glance is the authentication methods used to unlock the phones. Samsung has provided users with the option of face unlock scanning, an option that isn't found on this iPhone. Instead, the SE relies on the Touch ID sensor in the home button, which Apple has used for years and years on end. When you unlock them side by side, you'll notice Samsung's more impressive on-screen scanner actually doesn't fall behind Apple's home button sensor. So to get the obvious out of the way, there is a pretty significant difference in screen size between the two phones. To be exact, 6.5 inches on the Galaxy A51 versus 4.7 inches on the iPhone SE. Samsung's A51 panel is Super AMOLED, 2400 by 1080 resolution, and that's 405 pixels per inch. The basic LCD Retina panel of the SE is 1334 by 750 resolution, which is 326 pixels per inch. There is a huge difference in perceived quality between them, not so much because of the pixel density, but the panel type, and this is where Samsung has maintained the #1 spot for the best displays in the mid-tier smartphone category. In fact, if you were to look at these two phones just based on the front, you'd think that you're looking at a phone from 2015, and on the other hand, is something obviously much more modern, but this comparison goes much further than that. When we get into the speed and performance, you'll see it's not quite so black and white. But before that, let's discuss battery life. The SE is housing a 1821 mAh battery, whereas the A51 has over doubled that with 4000 mAh. Big screen means big battery drain, so where the sheer capacity of Samsung's battery dwarfs the iPhone's, it doesn't translate to screen on time how you'd think. I'm getting 4 hours of screen on time on the iPhone SE. This is with Wi-Fi turned on all the time, the screen brightness turned up all the way up all the time pretty much, and with frequent use of Bluetooth and cellular data. Overall, moderate use of the iPhone, and when I did these same things on my A51, I only got about 20 to 30 minutes of extra battery life. So yes, the A51 so far has taken the win in battery, display, and the unlock methods. Now, before we cover the cameras, the daily performance, gaming, and do a speed test, I want to talk about what comes in the box with either phone. A little reminder, these are not your usual top-of-the-line devices from Samsung and Apple. One of the ways that they cut down on the price is packaging. The SE unboxing was the most underwhelming experience for an Apple product, and I thought I would find a new wall adapter this time around. Not the case here. We got the Lightning earbuds, a 1 amp adapter, and the Lightning cable. No inclusions of a Lightning to 3.5mm adapter. This you must buy separately if you want to use regular headphones. The A51's box and contents are equally simple. The USB-C cable is shorter than I would have liked. The earbuds aren't as good as Apple's EarPods, but it makes up for it with a fast charger. Depending on what region you order the phone from, you might even get a free add-on accessory. I personally got this clear plastic case. Speaking of cases, that would be a good move for either phone. The iPhone will hold stronger against scratches, but if you're clumsy and drop your phone, keep in mind that that glass back will crack if you're not careful. I will leave it up to you whether you like the big boy bezels of the iPhone or the much more modern take that Samsung has to offer. Comment down below and let me know, is there anyone actually out there that prefers the bezels of the iPhone SE? Alright, it is speed test time. So all the background apps have been closed on both phones. I've actually got them connected to the same network, and in case you're wondering, I have the 4GB RAM version of the A51. This is the most prominent version, likely what you're going to find at your local retailer or carrier store. The boot up test win goes to the iPhone SE. My other speed tests weren't as easy to conduct, but I made them fair, so see the difference for yourself. Now, I have had the A51 since December of last year. It's slowed down just a tiny bit since then, and there have been a few instances of lag recently. I had a hunch before I even picked up this device that it would slightly slow down just in the first couple of months, and it's not bothersome, but it is worth mentioning. Undoubtedly, the SE will support iOS software updates for much longer than the A51 will keep to the latest version of Android. If you needed proof of this, it's in that the CPU is the A13 Bionic, the same chip found in the iPhone 11, which also explains those results you just saw. The edge in gaming performance goes to the SE, although with a much smaller screen, it's debatable as to which has the overall better gaming experience. You really have to ask yourself, what priorities do you have when you go out and pick up this phone? I know a lot of people that only use social media on their phone and they want to take good pictures. Now for those of you that have those priorities, my next test is for you. My favorite camera between the two phones is the iPhone's, without a doubt. The A51's images are good enough for me to post on Instagram and Twitter, but the SE actually makes you excited to share these photos. Colors, sharpness, dynamic range, really all across the board, the iPhone produces better images, largely in my opinion, because they look more true to life. Its sensor is 12 megapixels as opposed to 48 megapixels of the Galaxy device. When it comes to video capability, both have 4K recording at 30 frames per second, of course. The difference is that the iPhone has optical image stabilization, which is amazing, and the Galaxy device has a mediocre software footage stabilizer. The iPhone's autofocus is also much better. For your consideration, this is the front camera side-by-side comparison. Many will prefer Samsung's beauty modes and skin smoothing, but the majority of people always side with the iPhone's front lens. Lastly, the speakers. Although the iPhone's speakers aren't as loud as the A51, they sound slightly better to me. For sure, more of a stereo sounding vibe, which is better for music. Overall, you're still faced with a tough purchase decision because neither phone can be easily dismissed. Now, my gut feeling is that 90% of you will prefer the Galaxy A51. At the end of the day, it is packing more features. Conversely, I could see how the iPhone would be a good buy if you think that the Galaxy A51 camera is not good enough for you. Personally, I've picked up both and I am keeping them. I'm excited to use the iPhone SE more and more as time goes on, and I want to do more comparisons of both of these phones. Maybe the SE compared to a different brand like Xiaomi or Huawei, or a Galaxy phone like the A51 compared to whatever you want to see. Drop your suggestion in the comments down below. Now, if you're excited for my Galaxy S20 video versus the A51, that's coming very soon, so hit a like on this one, and I will talk to you in the next video.